So kind of to dive in to talk about your career, do you remember the moment you first realized emergency medical services was something you wanted to dedicate your life to?
I can't think of a specific moment. It kind of evolved over time. I started doing it during high school, kind of just as a fun activity on the side, and didn't really plan on going into it full time as a career until much later. But definitely during that time, I discovered that it was going to be a significant part of my life, regardless.
Definitely. So, kind of going more into your career, you joined the rescue squad in 2003, I believe.
Sounds right.
Yeah. And you served nearly every role within this rescue squad. So how does that kind of shape the way you lead today?
Yeah, I think having been in the different positions definitely helps understand them better. It allows me some flexibility to step in and help cover things when, especially since now all of the various roles are held by volunteers. So as there's turnover and change, it allows me to kind of flex and step in and assist, but also just having a better understanding of those roles definitely improves my ability to kind of help direct them and give them the resources and effort that they need.
Definitely. And what would you say is kind of the biggest challenge stepping into, the role of rescue chief?
I think the biggest challenge is having enough time to do all of the various things that could be done. It's really an endless field that you could spend all day, every day working on. And so kind of prioritizing what's important and timely can probably be the biggest challenge. Beyond that, just having an entire workforce of volunteers kind of adds another layer to a normal career department. People are there getting paid, and so you're their boss, and you can, you have different type of leverage and impact where people that are truly just doing it because they want to, you really have to adapt your style to work with them to make that a continual, enjoyable thing for them, or else they're going to go do something else.
So what would you say is the most rewarding part of your role here?
The most rewarding part is really watching the volunteers and the members just grow and advance as people. So when they first join, a lot of them have no experience, and just watching them learn and find a passion for this field. We've had countless people that have come in looking to do something completely different with their life, and once they start doing this, they realize that they really love medicine and helping people, and we've seen so many of them decide to go into nursing or EMS as a profession, or even medical school. And so watching that happen is very rewarding. Similarly, people advancing in their own leadership skills and journey, and becoming more confident and able to take on more.
Definitely. Yeah, I can't imagine how meaningful that would be, for someone to change their career after, learning that they love this. So kind of, going more into the award you recently won. So when people say great EMS leadership, what would you say that looks like here day to day, working with others?
Yeah, I think great leadership, it's a team sport. It's not one person, and that's kind of why it's unfortunate in a sense that the award is given to one person, because really no one on their own is going to be successful or not. It really takes a strong team. I guess one of the benefits of my role is at least by title, being the one in charge of that team or helping kind of guide that. But really, it's a matter of having an effective team that works towards whatever the common goal is that we have.
Definitely. I know you mentioned at the start of the interview that, there's some turnover and you have to deal with that. So across the country, we've seen EMS agencies face staffing shortages, burnout. What are you seeing locally here?
So I think we're really blessed locally, being in a college town and specifically with Virginia Tech. Volunteerism and service in general is just kind of a core aspect of this community. And so because of that, we really haven't seen the struggles that a lot of agencies have. That's not to say we don't have them. With the student population, most students that are going to come and join are only with us for, 2.5, 3 years, sometimes a little more. And then when they graduate, a lot of them end up leaving the area. So we definitely have turnover. Luckily, it's pretty predictable, and we can, knowing when they join and where they are in their college career, we can typically tell how long we're going to have them. And so we're always thinking ahead and bringing on almost more people than we need, knowing that by the time we get them trained up, a few others are going to graduate and leave. So we definitely have that. We're actually lucky. Our average length of membership averages out to a little over 6 years, which is actually quite a bit better than most even career situations. It's definitely bimodal in that we have a bunch of students that are only with us for a few years, but then the people that aren't students or that end up staying in the area tend to be with us much longer. So it averages out to 6 years, but really that 2 to 3 year time frame has the most churn. And once they get through that, as long as they're not graduating and leaving the area, most people end up staying with us for a long time.
I would like to know, what kind of keeps you motivated during difficult days? You've been, in this industry for decades.
Yeah, there's definitely difficult days. Some of them are difficult because of the calls. So if we run a bad call, a serious situation, or a patient has a bad outcome, that can be difficult. Really, I think with that, it's relying on each other, kind of falling back to that family atmosphere of being there for each other and with each other and helping each other through it. Tends to help. As far as from my position and in a leadership role, really it's stepping back and just kind of seeing where we are and where we've come and kind of looking at, things are never going to be perfect, but if I compare how we're doing to, other places that are struggling with a lot of other things, I think it helps keep it in perspective that even though it might be challenging, it's good in that what we're doing is really helping the community, looking at the impact, and just seeing what outcomes you're getting both from the community and the people we take care of, but also from my standpoint, a lot of it is more focused internally, and I get to watch the development and growth of our providers and our leadership. So I think that's really the biggest thing, is just kind of stepping back and getting to see the good that it's doing.
Definitely. So my second to last question is, when your career eventually will end, what do you hope people say about your leadership?
I think mostly I just hope that people remember the positive impact that I had on them individually. I don't know that it's going to be, I don't need a statue or, my picture on the wall. I think, I try to be a mentor to people, and even once I'm, retired and long gone, I hope people can just look back at some of the things that they've learned from me in the same way that I learned from them. And, hopefully take that to allow them to advance beyond where I'm at and take that even farther.
Definitely. And my last question is there anything that we haven't touched on or have touched on that you would like to discuss or mention before the end of this interview?
The only other thing I'll add, and again, I try to not look at this award specifically to me. I think it's more of a reflection of our team. So the year before, we actually won the Governor's Award for Outstanding EMS Agency, which I think is really amazing.
Definitely.
And I think that's one of the things that influenced me being selected for the award this year. And so we were picked from all of Virginia. There's, I want to say, maybe 750, 800 EMS agencies out there, all across Virginia, volunteer, career, mixed. And so the fact that Blacksburg Volunteer Rescue Squad, which is an all-volunteer agency kind of in the middle of Southwest Virginia, got recognized by the governor as like the top agency in Virginia is pretty amazing.
Definitely.
And I think that goes to show what we've got going on here.